So that ends question 4. They were very, very reluctant on dividing the people on the basis of language, which could further divide the interest of the India, and they could not retain the unity of the country. So they were very insecure about the unity of the country. Let's move on to the next question. Question 5 is, give one reason why English continued to be used in India after independence. Because we could not be because we could not have a unanimous decision on what language should be official. There were demands that Hindi should be made official language, but of course we could not deny that half of the Indians, they do not speak Hindi, and imposing Hindi on them would be like imposing English on us, like what the Britishers did, imposing some language which is not yours, which you do not want to be as official language. So English continued to be in use as the language of the courts, of the administration, and of the means of communication between the states, so that none of the state would feel left out, or it would be made to feel coerced into having one language as their official language. So basically that is why English was retained, in order to have some commonality between all the states. Question 6 is, how was the economic development of India visualized in early decades after independence? In the natal stage of the independent India, the economic development was visualized by, this is my hypothesis, that they wanted to focus on the industrialization process in a fast pace, because they thought that industrialization would give them fast development. All the other sectors that needed a very slow investment, a very slow investment of time, investment of everything, investment of manpower. But if you establish industry once, it would give you regular flow. It would give you regular flow of growth, regular flow of cash. So the economic development that India visualized in early decades of independence, first of all, it visualized a mixed economy. The economic development, even though there were demands that the states would be granted autonomy to have their growth for economic development, it was not granted. The lists were formed which granted equal, almost equal powers to the states and center. And economic development was strived on the lines of the mixed economy, that both the states as well as the market would have control over providing employment, over having control of the market. So both these entities were there in the picture. They were both to work together to generate employment and create a good economy. Of course, after the second 5-year plan, we also strive to focus. We persisted our focus on this industrial development, because we thought that could give us a fast pace of growth. Let's have a quick revision of the chapter. Events timeline. I know that revising the timeline, revising the dates and the events could be really boring for you, but having a vague idea about all this would help you in a very, very long run. Because even now, in 8th standard, I also used to think that what is with these dates, would they ever go away? But if you remember these by some of the other ways, it would really help you in a long run. So just try and remember these dates by mixing it, by correlating it with some events that happened in your life. So try relating it with that. That is what I used to do. 15th of August 1947, of course we do not need to remember that, I hope. Independence Day in India. 26th January 1950. Again, by saying that we do not need to remember that, I meant that we already know that, and we should know that throughout our lives, that this day India got independent and this is the Republic Day of India. So the Indian Constitution was adopted on 26th of January 1950. 1st October 1953, the formation of the new Andhra state, because of the persistent demand from the Telugu speaking community. 1956, redrawing of the linguistic state boundaries. After the Andhra was created, there were demands from other linguistic communities that we also wanted a division between those other languages. So we also want a state of our own. 1960, Bombay divided into Marathi and Gujarati states. That was also a creation after linguistic ground came into picture. 1966, division of Punjab into Punjab and Haryana. Punjab consisted of the Sikhs and the Punjabi speaking people. Haryana consisted of Haryanvi and a mixed Hindi speaking population. next slide is, after independence, a new constitution was framed and came into effect in 1950. Of course, we took a very long time into creating this great constitution that we still, constitution is never static. It is always developing. So, of course, our constitution is also very, very developing, in a very developing stage. It develops every year, like with every judgment of the Supreme Court or every laws that are passed. If you have read that Article 377 was decriminalized, further we are liable to make changes to our constitution, because we are seeing changes. Everything is continuous. Nothing is permanent except change, basically. So constitution is an ever evolving textbook, but it came into effect in 1950. The new constitution embodied the following features. That was universal. These are the important features that the new constitution embodied. Of course, there was many other features as well. There was universal adult franchise. We have to remember that previously it was 21, but it was made 18 after the 61st Amendment Act. Equality before law. This is also very important. Special privileges for the poor and disadvantaged. Division of powers between center and states in order to maintain, give them equal level of powers. After independence, states were divided based on language. The state of Andhra was formed in 1953, followed by redrawing of several boundaries in 1956, 60 and 66. We have seen the very recent reorganizing of state as well. Not reorganizing exactly, the division of state, that is the state of Andhra Pradesh growing into two states, that is the state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. In 1956, the second 5-year plan was formulated, which focused largely on heavy industries like steel and developmental plans like the building of dams. So the second 5-year plan was very pro-industry. It focused mainly on the development of industries. A mixed economy model was suggested by the Planning Commission that was set up in the 1950, because at that time, that was the best that we could have afforded. Hindi was made the official language, but English was supposed to be used in courts and communication between states, as well as the language of the administration, in order to maintain a commonality between all the states, that none of the states were imposed to learn a single language. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who was also the foreign minister of the newly independent India, developed India's foreign policy of the non-alignment. So Prime Minister Nehru was also the foreign minister in the early years of the independence. So he formulated, along with the other countries like Ghana, Yugoslavia, Indonesia, he was also one of the founding members of the NAM, that is the non-aligned movement, which separated, not actually aloof, but which separated itself from aligning with one of the countries of the Cold War. So non-aligned movement, aligned movement was also a very important part of our history. Let's hope that you enjoyed this chapter. I know I hesitate a lot. I might be fluctuating a little bit even now and then. I might have also done some mistakes. So I actively suggest you to read your textbooks, read the NCERT books. It is more than enough for everything that you have to learn. It will also help you in future if many of you want to prepare for services, for the civil services, or for every competitive exams. This will help you in the long run. So try and read the NCERT, and try and read each and every chapter as a story. I hope this helps. Thank you very much.